Good evening. Welcome, everybody, to the inaugural Baltimore Banner Twitch stream. It feels kind of strange to say that, interesting to say that, doing new things. That's fun. I'm Daniel Zawadny. I cover transportation here at the Banner. I'm joined by my colleague.
My name is Greg Morton. I'm the data editor here at the Banner.
And we are joined in studio by somebody much more important than either of us. That is you. That is the mayor of Baltimore, the Honorable Brandon Scott.
Twitch world. First time Twitcher here.
Yeah, first time Twitcher here. Greg?
No, I'm not on this site.
Yeah, this is a new thing for us. So bear with us if there are any technical difficulties or anything like this. Yeah, exactly. We're figuring this out. First things first, Mr. Mayor, I got to ask, are you a gamer?
So
probably don't have much time nowadays.
I don't. And I'm just going to be honest. I actually didn't have a game system. The last gaming system I had was like Xbox One until 2 years ago. As you know, I have a 10-year-old at home because Saron wanted Madden. I had to buy a new Xbox. So most of the time now when I'm playing Xboxes, playing Madden or NBA 2K just to let him, or when I know that he still can't beat me even though I don't play it every day like he does, or when I'm going to some event and playing with young kids, but I don't have a lot of time for gaming. But there was a time where, I had not since 2007 when I came to City Hall have I been a gamer.
Yeah. What was your game back in the day?
Listen, I'm a sports guy, so it was Madden, NBA Live, NBA Jam. There's a great story. I was in Boston in 2018 for something, and there was this bar near Harvard and MIT that everyone was like, "Oh, it's this 90s arcade bar," and I go in there and like I'm playing Mortal Kombat 2, I believe, and I'm playing and I win like 15 matches in a row. And these kids who are like supposed to be the smartest people in the world, like, I can't believe it. Like, how do you know all these moves? I'm like, well, I've been playing this my whole life. And they're like, well, how old are you? And at that time, like I was 34. I was like 34, and they're like, no way, you look like you're our age. And then no one wanted to play me anymore, so I had to play the computer.
All right, we got a Mortal Kombat shark for a mayor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
I got to ask, do you let Saron play as the Ravens, or is that for you?
Well, he Jerry Rice, some ways, in his blood, that his father is a 49ers fan, so he normally plays with the 49ers, which to him never works because Lamar is better than Brock Purdy.
Obviously. All right, well, we are not here to talk the Ravens as much as I would love that. We're here to play Subway Builder,
baby.
4 and 5. We're here to play Subway Builder, which we're undefeated in. So Subway Builder, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it is a game. I want you to think Roller Coaster Tycoon or any of the other games in kind of that Tycoon series, but for public transit. So what we are doing is building a subway system. Greg, you want to take it from here?
Sure. So we're going to win the game together. And what does that look like? It's getting as many Baltimore area residents as we can to take public transit. So what does that look like, right? So what the game is going to give us is all of these stats about route demand and where people work. So let's take a look.
And what's that based on, Greg?
It's based on real census data. So when we take a look at each one of these circles, right, this is where people live and this is where people work. So our goal here is going to be to get as many blue circles as possible. And what does that mean? It is as many people taking the train as possible. So when we look here, we can see there's about 200 people in this area, and they're all going from here all the way up here on the subway, and they're all taking the subway, right?
Owens Mills, huh?
All the way up to Owens Mills.
All the way up to Owens Mills.
So for this map, for those of you home, if you're checking it out, what we went ahead and did, we preloaded this map with the current metro and light rail that Baltimore has. So that's the light rail is obviously the blue line, and the metro is the green line here. So what we are going to do is start with what Baltimore already has, and we have a new project manager with us today. That project manager is Mayor Brandon Scott. And Mr. Mayor, you're gonna tell us where we should build. So there's a couple ways that we could approach this, right? So, we could think about old plans that there have been, right?
Well, those are right
we
here.
were chatting before about the 2002 rail plan and the train to Towson or the Red Line, something like that. Or, we can go off of your knowledge as the mayor of, neighborhoods that you think could benefit from this sort of investment. We can build it, and we can, over time, we can see how it does. So,
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So does it like, will it, if you build a line in the days, I see the days running there, does it like have an impact later on? Like, does it attract people and all of those things? All right, great. So it's like, what's that? It's a game. It's the wrong places. Building city something.
Oh,
like,
City Skylines.
City Skylines. Yes, it's a game. I do help on that, like building cities. I think the city he built is now up to like 100,000 people, which is pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
So okay, great. So now I got a little bit of a more of a thought pattern.
Yeah, you're figuring it out. So where do you think? I mean, where should we start?
So let's do this. Can you scroll east here to the end of the existing line?
He's about to build park heights to Mervo. I can feel it. I can feel it.
No, I'm not. Listen, I can you scroll in near the end of the existing line, or the green line, subway as we call it in Baltimore. All righty.
Yeah, so this is Johns Hopkins Hospital for folks who might not be immediately familiar.
Now scroll out a little bit. There's no dots there. Okay. So the red dots are people, right?
Yeah, but we got people moving.
So that's just people that are moving right now. So that's the demand. So that's where people are living.
All right, there we go. This is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just think about this for a second. So I know you guys know this, right? But there's been many thoughts around the end of this existing line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was the talk about having an existing line go up and through East Baltimore
Morgan State.
And up into Morgan State. But when you think about that now, one, tunneling is a very expensive thing. And I think, how much money do you guys have for this project?
So that's a fun thing that we can actually talk about briefly with this game. There's two ways to play.
Mm-hmm.
There's one way where you start out with $3 billion and then you basically you can only build once you generate revenue, or you can play in an unrestricted mode.
Oh, you're in unrestricted.
So we're in unrestricted.
Oh, I can do what I want.
You can do whatever you want.
Let's say less. Say less. But we still have to think about how it impact people live in all of those.
Yeah,
things.
we want to be smart about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm thinking about like whether we want to do one of two things, right? Whether we want to expand this existing line, because I'm assuming that we can do that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Expand this existing line out eastward, right? But having it be above the park, maybe tunneling more for a little while. So scroll in for me. And does the map have the ability to go to like satellite view?
That's a good question.
Actually, what we can do here, and I'm not sure if we have it for every building in the city, is we do have 3D.
So the best we can probably do is 3D instead of satellite.
Okay.
I think a recent update just put street names on there too.
We do have
street
some
names there, but those are in my brain anyway.
Yeah.
So let's think about it like this. Let's see if we can scroll. You can scroll in. Let's scroll in. Oh, I have to stay within the camera, Mike. I'm sorry. So if you scroll in a little bit, right? So go up. So no, we'll take it down. Let's see if we can. Don't do it yet. I want you to just scroll over Orleans Street.
So like go east?
Go east on Orleans. Right.
Okay, there's a big circle.
You'll go. Now it becomes Pulaski Highway, right? And now it gets into the industrial area. So now scroll out a little bit. It's still very high demand. That's good, actually. And then can you go down for me around where people are working? So they down.
No, about downtown?
Yeah, no, forget downtown for a second.
Getting over to like Can Crossing.
Yeah, to the port.
Okay,
Because if we do it the right way, you can build it out to Pulaski, right? And then use the existing rail yards and things.
Oh, okay.
To Bayview.
Yeah.
So you can tunnel it out under Orleans out and maybe pop a station or two along the way that are underground stations for the folks in East Baltimore, more of them to get on, but also then have it come and connecting down to Bayview.
Yeah. So do you want to extend it and end in Bayview?
Extend
all right, let's
it
do
in.
that.
Let's try that.
All right.
Let's see if we can build underneath Orleans and
This
take
is
it
a
straight out
little.
to Pulaski
This
Highway.
is a little like alternative to the red line. Even at least thinking about baby.
I may or
and
may
one of
not
the-
have said this before in my lifetime.
Let's see. So let's build a couple stations.
All right,
How
yeah, let's see
about
what they
a
look like.
station?
That's
we
too
do-
close. Let's see. Go ahead. No, scrolling. Let's put the station. Yeah, let's say Orleans and we'll say Luzerne. Right there. That's right here. Right there. Right to the right of you.
Okay.
Now, can you hold? Does it tell you whether it's underground or above?
We can, we can
can
do
set
underground or
either.
above.
Yeah, these have to be underground.
So
here.
we're doing
Yeah.
underground.
You have to. It has to be underground here because we don't want to displace anybody.
Oh yeah, you're doing. So it costs more the further down you go. So
Well, you guys said it had an unlimited budget.
That's
so
true,
dude,
yeah.
That's all I'm
So
saying.
put it 100
You didn't
feet
give
down.
me
You know,
any-
why not?
We're going deep burrow here.
You didn't give
Let's do
me
a
any
deep- a deep
restrictions.
burrow here.
We're pulling out the big drills.
You know.
All right, let's build it up.
All right. So this is building a station, and then we're going to connect it with track.
All right.
So, Mr. Mayor, you were saying before, right? So, I mean, you famously grew up in Park Heights, right?
Mhm.
And Park Heights is pretty close to an existing
in Park
metro
Heights,
stop, right?
yes.
So, I guess I'm wondering.
1, 2, 3 metro stations or subway
Yeah.
stations, as we say, in Park Heights.
So, I guess I'm wondering, what was young Brandon Scott's experience with transit in
Train?
Baltimore like? I mean, be it the metro or
The
also
bus?
just the wider system, right? Like,
Oh.
where did you take it to? Where'd you go? What'd you do? What was the experience
So,
like?
It won't let you go straight underneath.
I'm trying to avoid imminent domaining Hopkins
Yeah,
away.
that's hilarious. I'm just thinking, like, it's already there. Why don't they let us connect underneath the street? Like, we don't
What
want.
if if you just bring it right? Oh, it's because listen, we've got unlimited money.
Yeah,
so.
you get okay.
We'll build a new hospital.
This is hilarious.
And we just need to get the rights to dig. We don't need to take. the
Yeah,
hospital.
we don't want to take it away.
Yeah.
But it won't let us do it otherwise. That's weird. I think that has to be a glitch because it's already underneath there. So why wouldn't
Yeah.
it let you build further underneath to connect it?
Game's still new.
All right, maybe I got to change my idea here.
No, I think we roll with it.
No,
I
we
think
can
we
get
roll
it
with it.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
still
can
gonna
get it
work.
But I think so. I'll just say it like this. I know a friend of mine who I've known since elementary school. He and I were having this discussion the other day. We know that we had it a lot better than most people because we had the subway, and then for me, we also had the light rail, right? So
Yeah.
I lived on Cold Spring Lane.
Mhm.
I could walk to either. It took me about 7 minutes to walk from my house to the Cold Spring Metro station.
Mm.
I could walk to the light rail station in about 12 or 13 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Like that was life changing for us.
Yeah, that's great.
We were able to go places and be everywhere, But in the fall of 1998, I started to have a very different experience.
Why was that?
Well, it's when I started high school.
Okay.
And I would have to be on the 33. I don't know what it's called now. It has different numbers. And I would catch the bus. School started, the bell rang at 8:15. At first it was 8:05. Then it moved back to 8:15. And I would wake up at 5:15. I would be out of the house by 5:45, 6 o'clock in order to get to school on time.
Wow.
That was bad. Coming home was a lot worse
Yeah.
because I was in cross country and indoor and outdoor track and college bound. So I would go in Merville, even though we had the best track team in the city, one of the best in the state and in the country. Really, we didn't have a track at the time.
Mm.
We practiced at City's track. We don't understand why. When we were beating the crap out of them every week, they never decided to do what we did in practice, which means maybe they're not as smart as City alumni think they are. But I had to say that because I know some of my friends are watching. They're gonna be mad.
Yeah.
But
Take your shots, man. Take your swings.
to go home, I would catch the 3 or the 36 bus downtown and then catch the subway back into Park Heights versus just catching the bus straight across town because that's how long that would take. And I just think like that always stuck with me. It's also why I got my driver's license immediately. It's why I had my uncle and my dad literally taking money out of my checks from the age of 14 to make sure that I could buy my uncle's old car and have it ready for me. Literally, the day I got my license at Mondawmin, I went straight to my uncle's house, got the car, it had the insurance, and I never looked back.
That was one of the questions I had for you. I was like, was Mayor Scott 16 getting my license as soon as I can? And that's okay.
I was, and I had to, but it ended up not being a way for me to get home faster, because I had to drive all my teammates home.
Oh, because you were the one with the car.
I was the one with the car, but then there was this one day, I told us at our track coach's funeral, and it's something I learned about leadership very early from him, where I didn't feel like taking any of them home. So after practice, I just got in the car and left before they came out the locker room. And the next morning, I'm walking up the ramp to go into school, which is right by the gym, which is right by his office. And he's standing on the ramp. And I'm like, all right, what's up, coach? Go to my office. And I'm like, damn, what did I do? And I'm thinking, I'm like, I know he can't be mad at me about leaving them. But he was.
Wow.
And he was like, I heard you went home yesterday and drive anybody home. I was like, yeah, coach, I was tired. I just wanted to go home, get home early. He's like, well, you're never going to get home early. Leaders help everybody. They don't just think about themselves. So would take me like an hour to get home, just not 2.
Wow, that's a powerful story. All right, so what are we looking here for the next station? So we want to get down to Bayview. We want to get down to Bayview. Why don't should we make the Bayview station and then
No, let's do it this way.
Let's do it this way. All right,
okay.
So I think
we're going to keep going east.
Yeah, you're going to keep going east, straight out the street here, and then you could probably make the next station. Let's make the next station right in here, I guess.
Right in here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Is this Fayette here?
Yeah, that's Fayette and Pulaski.
Okay.
They're merging in.
So my shout out for me would be put a station near the Aldi.
That's hilarious. It's a good
Aldi too. Then I could walk.
It's a good Aldi.
It's a good Aldi, yeah.
It's got to work for everybody, Dan.
No, but it would work for a lot of people. It just happened to also work for me.
This would get people to the Aldi now.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't do that now.
So, along those lines, Mayor Scott, it sounds like, getting to school was tough for you at times. It took a while. I guess I'm just,
it wasn't tough. It's just like, I think that when you talk to those of us who grew up at that time, it was just part of the culture, or so much that it's just something that we had to do. Now, I will tell you that between that and working for my family's business, I wouldn't have it any other way. Because now, like, the experiences that I had, the people that I met, the places that I got to go, all of those things, they really helped shape me into who I am. Like the stories that my friends and I have about the bus, the people, like meeting people on the bus and building relationships with them. And like, we became closer as a unit, like that, making that trek. Cause almost all of us, even though we went to school in Northeast Baltimore, all of us lived in Park Heights or Emerson Village, right? So we were all making this huge trek every day, but it brought us so closer together, and it allowed us to do something that so many people, especially in our generation and the generation before, something they didn't do. Where they were people who just like, they lived in the East Side and they never went to the West Side, right? Like, we were able to go and experience all of these things and learn so much, and now like pass that down to our children, that we can't just be confined to a 4-block radius or
for sure. That's something I tell a lot of folks when I talk about my experience doing it. It's like, I love taking the bus or using the transit system, partially because it helps me feel a little more connected to the city, to my surroundings. You're not just getting into your own little box in your car and driving away. But, here in Baltimore, right, transit decisions, a lot of it is run by the state, right? Yep. Baltimore doesn't have a ton of control over some of these things. But so I guess I'm wondering, what do you think? What do you see your role as mayor in trying to, like, how can you make the transit network better, not just in our fictional subway system, but but here in Baltimore.
And without this has been a big issue for me and myself. Then County Executive Olszewski, now Congressman Olszewski, and County Executive Pittman, alongside then Delegate, now Comptroller Lehman, and Senator McCray, started this conversation, this process about having MTA have more of a regional thing, right? When you look at the successful systems, whether it's SEPTA or the stuff out in BART, SEPTA in Philadelphia, BART, and even Wilmota Metro, right? It's not that, it's great. It's great now because we know that Governor Moore cares about the city, cares about transit, etc. But the truth is, we should all be riding the red line right now. And one person was able to just come in and say, look, well, I don't like the city. I don't like this. I don't like that. Gone. And when you think about how it's constituted in those other places, there's a board, there's accountability in other different levels. And I think that we've been working with Greater Baltimore Metropolitan. All of us have been working really hard to start to think about that specific way to deal with having a different model. And I think that's one of the things that we just have to continue to work to over the years.
Yeah. For those watching, if there's anybody,
and I'm glad you said that.
Baltimore,
the mayor does not control the bus or the subway or the light rail. I know the M, think Maryland when you see M, even though it's mass.
But there is, this conversation happening in the state of Maryland about, should we create a regional authority for the Baltimore network, similar to how you see in other major transit networks, that would give the city a bit more control. And it sounds like something that, that you're supportive of. You want to see.
We've been working on that for a while, and we're just going to keep pushing.
Yeah. All right, let's get back here. What's our next?
We go.
Our next station.
The next station is Bayview, right? Yeah, we're here now.
Let's get it.
You can go right through there. Look at it. Trust me, I know there's basically nothing there, but train. And just go right into the back.
Let's get it.
And this little property.
I can say right now we're allowed to do this.
This is Bayview right here.
Yeah, Bayview. We gotta get a little south to get to Bayview.
Let's do it. Do we want to build down or we want to build sideways?
I would just take it around there and just come underneath 895. That's what that is. And just you can have the station pop up here and
I think you make it kind of just for the sake of make it look the cleanest for right now. It's going to look best that way.
Oh, we're going to get it clean.
Yeah. So somewhat along those lines too, Mr. Mayor, transportation also is, it's a huge expensive thing, right? And oftentimes doing things like this in real life requires federal support, federal money, and it's we're not breaking any news tonight saying that we have a federal administration right now that, may not look too kindly on cities like ours. I guess my question is how does the city, how does the state, how do you as mayor, how do we keep moving the ball forward on big projects like, say, the Red Line or other proposals or the Be More Bus plan? How do we move the ball forward on these things if we can't necessarily count on the support from the federal government?
Well, look, as I always say, even though we know that there's challenges at the executive level, we still have to just be reminded that we have the best federal delegation that exists in the United States Congress for us here in Baltimore. And we hope that they'll be able to still help us out on some of those things. But also, I think this is also a time for us to do some reflection, right? And understanding that we have to be able to be creative, come up with new ways, come up with new things and ideas about how we can accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish. And I think that that's just what we have to do in the moment, in the way that we exist.
So it sounds like innovate.
Yeah, you got to innovate.
Get creative with solutions.
Look at that. People are coming to the station already.
It's popular.
Your first station, we already got 3,000 riders.
Look at that. All right, so we got that. We got to Bayview.
All right, so we got to Bayview, right? So
do we want to keep extending this line out? Do we want to think about?
We're gonna stop there for now. All right, we're gonna do something different. Let's go back. Go west. Here we go.
Heading back west.
Here we go. All right. Now I haven't. You can be like, oh, you've thought about this a lot. Scrolling on the highway to nowhere.
Oh, here we go. Let him cook.
So let's do this, right? We're going to start here and then go westward.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an existing station, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you add stations to this line that exists already?
I think so. I think you might have to.
I think we could do it.
I think you might have to like delete the track and then build a new station and then just rebuild the track. But that shouldn't be too much problem. So I think that's Lexington Market.
That's
right
Lexington
there.
Market.
That
All right,
big one,
that's
yeah.
fine. Let's leave it as is. Okay. What we want to do is, because people can walk that little bit of a distance.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna build a station here at the end of the highway to nowhere, and then we're gonna use the highway to nowhere as we go out.
We're gonna go
Yes. Okay.
Because what other use does it have? Right?
Well, so that, I mean, the current red line proposals, right? They're studying 3 alternatives. I'm pretty sure all 3 of them, use that right of way, right? So
yeah, that may have been like the number one thing for me. May or may not have been. We have to use, if there's no better way to talk about, even just from a symbolic point, dealing with what I call as the poster child for these highways and redlining itself, because this is West Baltimore, where basically redlining was created in my office and invented and then implemented here. What better way to do that than we have the red line, using it and helping to grow those neighborhoods again. So let's do that, and then we should create. You got a station there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you should create another station here, and then another one at the mark. When they get
off the mark. There we go. So, Mr. Mayor, I've got to ask you this now, because a couple months ago, I went to a screening of a documentary called Interstate that featured an interview of yours about the legacy of the interstate highway system on Black communities, Black urban communities in the United States. You talked a lot about the highway to nowhere, and you seemed really keen on an idea of filling the highway in. And I wanted to ask, like, when you think about reimagining the right of way there, like, is there one option that you kind of lean more towards, or something that you think is a better idea, or is it?
I think that we have to look at a multitude. That's why we have West Baltimore United. I want to thank all the folks there and thank Senator Van Hollen and his team for their help in this project. DOT from us is leading it. I think they have to look at all of it, right? I told folks that we have to make sure that when we're doing anything with highway to nowhere, that red line has to be considered, whatever shape or form the red line will take. But like, we have to think. I had the opportunity to go to St. Paul a few years ago and see the rondo, right? With my brother, Mayor Melvin Carter, and see the rondo and see the things, like they have a wall that has the names of the people and their businesses that were displaced, and see his name because his grandfather was one of them.
Wow.
Right? Like, but then to see what they're doing, and they're planning to actually fill in and build on top of it, and build housing and all of these things, because in their case, the highway actually is there, right? So they're going to build on top of the highway. And
they're capping the highway and building on top.
And building on top, so that when coming back here, I thought about, like, we have an opportunity to do, because it's very wide. You don't have to fill the whole thing in, right? You could use half of it to have a rail line running down the middle of it, right? You could have it to have more rapid bus, or all of these things. And you could also cap it to help and build on top of it to help this growth. Because listen, I think when you look at, if you think about Emerson Avenue and some scroll in here just so folks know what I'm talking about. Nope, this way, right here.
East, yeah.
Right here. Think about Harlem, right? When you think about this block of Harlem Avenue, right? And you think about Emerson Avenue here, these are places that when I was growing up, you would not go there, right? And when I came into office, some of these blocks were like fully vacant. I helped some folks, and so we celebrated. And I think those houses were on Harlem, or maybe they were on Emerson. I gotta think, one of those 2 streets, and move into their houses as a part of this redevelopment that happened there. Mm-hmm. And folks that were this one family were renting in Pigtown, and there they bought their first houses for $300,000 in right there above the highway to nowhere. Right, people that lived in Baltimore their whole life. Imagine now having public transportation that can get them to downtown and to the mark, right? And what that could mean for them and their families, and helping to build on top of it as well will help that growth expand even more.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we cooking. We
All right,
cooking now.
So where are we going from here?
All
What
right,
are we going to
scroll
do with
back.
this
I got to
line?
see what we got. So we got that so people can connect. I kind of want you to just connect it to the subway line, right? So can you
I'm
do
wondering
that?
if it's not to
Yeah.
Lexington Market.
Yeah,
So
just
like
close
if
by.
it's not,
we
if
go
we
a
can
little
connect it into one of these other
Yeah,
downtown
or
stations,
if
Let's
you
right?
do
just
it. How about we connect it up to light rail?
light rail, yeah, because the light rail and subway are right there. I know about that
Yeah.
because I used to get off at Lexington Market to go buy CDs on Mondays. It's
Oh, okay.
having a relationship with DJs from a young age helps. I would buy my CDs. Came out on Tuesdays back in the day, kids. CDs are these things that used to put into cars and they play music. But they used to buy them on Mondays. CDs come out on Tuesdays. I would get off at Lexington Market, go do that, get my chicken, and then get back on and
There
go
you
home.
go. There you go. That's a good day.
Or Mondawmin, great cookies.
We
Snickerdoodles.
actually we have a
No, don't do that one. Do one down.
Yeah, go south.
Yeah,
Go south.
go right. Yeah, do that
go
one.
Clay Street.
Yeah,
we have somebody watching who has a question.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Which is really cool. So somebody is interested in hearing about your thoughts on the old proposal to extend the metro line up to Morgan State. You know,
Yeah.
is that, should that still be in the car? Should we do that here eventually?
We may get to that in just a second. I think that would be a great thing. We were talking before we got on about how in a younger life, I actually discovered a map of that, like in a building working for my family's business.
Build the map, folks. 2002 rail map. Build the map.
Before it was released. And I actually think it's really cool. But in truth, when we were discussing in this meeting with Governor Hogan's team about alternatives, I brought that up. I said, look, you guys don't like the red line. There's a couple things that I think you guys should consider with this, like alternatives, if you're actually going to consider alternative, which we all know they weren't, but someone had to say it. One for me was, why don't you use that money to finish the existing line, right? Have it go up to Morgan and then out to White Marsh, because that's the last portion of it.
Yeah.
And think about what that literally would mean. People can get from Owens Mills out to White Marsh, whatever, getting off the train, right? That would be life-changing. And thinking about the students at Morgan State, thinking about students like me at Mervo, I wouldn't have to catch the bus downtown. I would caught the train down. And I think that like we can think about those kind of things in that way. And then you could have still did that and built the red line to the highway to nowhere, right through the highway to nowhere and connecting down to Lexington Market, and still had a lot of that east, that westerly flow.
The connectivity there.
Connectivity to the light rail and the existing line there. And then people could have got off, boom, switch trains, just like you do in New York or anywhere else.
Absolutely.
So I thought the original plan was great. I wish they would have done it.
Mr. Mayor, I know we're a little short on time, but I wanted, like, speaking of this old plan that you found in an office somewhere, and there's been so many plans about what to do with transit in Baltimore, specifically with rail transit. I always think back to in the 80s when we were finishing up building the subway line. We were supposed to expand it, and we missed only by like a couple of years. There was all this federal funding for metro systems. DC's metro system got a bunch of money and built out. Atlanta's did. And Baltimore missed it, and I guess I just wonder, I hate to always think about what ifs, but if that were to have happened, like, what do you think it would have meant for Baltimore, both for like in terms of the the numbers of like the economic benefits, the growth, but also just like the way people see Baltimore? Like, what do you think the impact of building out like a full-on subway system would have been for the city?
I think that it would have been transformative, right? I think that we would have seen a lot of the growth and the things that we have happened, which has been great in my lifetime. I grew up in a very different Baltimore than the one that we live in today. So I always tell folks that we have to understand the tremendous amount of progress that's been made, not just in my 5 years as mayor, but in my lifetime in this city. But it would have unlocked so much potential if done the right way, right? If done the way that still protected legacy residents and legacy culture, because we know that there are some, I love Washington, D.C., but some native Washingtonians will tell you that like they lost their culture, right? The mambo sauce don't taste the same, even though it's not as good as Obey. And club music is better than go-go music. Just have to remind them of that all the time. And the Wizards haven't won since they left, but that's a whole different story. But I think it would have helped us unleash a lot of that. And it's unfortunate that we didn't do it. I can say that there's things when I think about that, right? I think about the fact that on December the 8th of 2000, which was my junior year of high school, we had 16,000 vacant properties. On December the 8th of 2020, I was sworn in as mayor. 20 years later, we had 16,000. Right now, we finally have that under 13,000 for the first time in a long time. But if you had that transit investment, we know that would have happened a lot sooner.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Mayor. One other question I wanted to ask you about, right, is you've made tackling vacants a huge priority of yours in your administration. There's a huge connection between housing and transit and transportation, right? And there's a slew of bills.
Look at that 4K out there,
4K, baby. We'd love to see it,
baby.
There's a slew of city council bills, right, about trying to encourage growth, encourage housing density in transit. Are two things that go hand in hand. Critics of these bills have been saying that Baltimore doesn't have the transit network for them to really be able to succeed. Other folks have said, why are we trying to build more density this way when we have so many vacant properties? And I guess I'm just curious to hear how you would respond to those two criticisms.
I think they go hand in hand, right? You have to. And it's funny, I was with the mayor of DC and Richmond today, and we were all talking for Greater Washington Partnership. We were all talking about housing strategies, right? Richmond has been focusing on doing some of the same things around zoning code and others. And Mayor Bowser is looking at how they're tackling the housing crisis, because it's all and above. When you think about, this isn't just a Baltimore or DC or Richmond, the super region thing. When you think about this country, it's housing and housing affordability and quality housing is a crisis across this country. And we cannot just piecemeal that. And change is hard. Listen, I know it. It's very hard. We have to do both, right? When you think about those vacants, some of the vacant properties, right? We have to continue to file 15-year vacant strategy that we have in partnership. That is number one. But we also have to unlock all these other things. And the zoning code changes will help with those too. And we have to have the variety and the availability of the housing stock in many different ways that we need across the board in order for us to achieve. But also, I have to bring it back to this. We're never going to undo the legacy of redlining in this city or anywhere, but in Baltimore, what we really care about, if we do not change the policies. And some of those policies are the ones that we're trying to change.
So let's get back to our map here.
All right.
We've kind of left it. We've connected it to the light rail here, and we got to see where we want to take it.
All right, hold on. We got to get these up first. Let's see here. Let's scroll out. No, we're not done with this one yet. So we got to go out into the village.
Okay. You want to get out to Edmondson Village?
Other way. So yeah, just take that. Yep. Just take it straight out. Straight out in the street. Straight, and then this is Lincoln Park, but like we should put a stop. We should put a stop here, and then we'll put another one once we get across.
If I could get to Lincoln Park on a train, that'd be
Park's
great.
Awesome, isn't it?
It's one of the only places where when I'll be on the trail and I can't hear or see anything like that's like in the city around me. And I can't believe I'm in the city right now. Like, I feel like I'm out in like the middle of the woods, like on a hike somewhere. It's such an interesting spot. I love going on hikes in there.
Doing real engineering right here, folks.
There you go. That's all right.
Get it, Greg.
That thing you're building on is a city property. It's fine.
Can we? I love being able to do this with the mayor. You can just tell us right away, like, oh yeah, that's city property. That's you have my permission.
It's like a DPW yard right here.
Okay, that's perfect. I know we gotta get wrapping up. Mayor Scott.
We're gonna get wrapped up. We gotta. I'm gonna show you where we're gonna end this first.
Okay, where are we gonna end this?
Yeah, we gotta end at the shopping center. So
Yes.
All right, scroll in.
There's also
Uplands.
there's a bunch of new
Uplands
housing
right there.
units right
yeah,
across the
I know
street
that's
too.
that's
So
the shopping center right here. So we're gonna end it at Uplands. Last stop for now will be right here. The folks in Woodlawn in the county, they got to fend for themselves. They should move into the city.
You heard it here first, folks. You gotta move back.
So you should add another stop in the middle here, probably in the middle of the village.
Yeah, that's a long ways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end off with a couple.
No,
a little further.
A little further west.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's good.
I'm gonna end with a couple rapid fire questions.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for these?
Yes, Ravens are gonna win the Super Bowl next.
Okay, that you read my mind. DC Metro or New York City subway?
New York.
Fly to New York or take Amtrak?
My staff knows this very well. If anyone asks me about flying to New York, I ask them, are they insane? I'm going to take a flight and it's going to take me that amount of time to get back into town. Absolutely not. Train is the only way to go.
The only way. All right. Who has worse drivers, the state of Maryland or the state of Virginia?
You've seen VA tags, right? You know about Virginia tags.
Tell me what you're going to tell me. Tell me what I hope you're going to tell me.
I'm just going to say this. As someone who spent half my summers in Hampton, Virginia, after spending the other half in North Carolina, I've never seen worse drivers than people in the state of Virginia, ever.
I thought you were going to say, trick question. The answer is the worst drivers are Marylanders that have Virginia tags.
No, the ones in Virginia are even worse than that.
Okay.
And they're bad enough.
Last question. Could you beat Councilman Ryan Dorsey in a bike race?
In a bike race? Probably a race. Ride? No. In a sprint, I might be able to get
a sprint maybe,
yeah.
but like a distance ride?
No. We ride together every now and again, but yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Right now I couldn't do it anyway. I have a torn patella tendon from basketball. Something that he nor many of the council members know about these days.
That sounds like an excuse to me, but
No. I wish it wasn't. Trust me, it's killing me to not do anything. Look, this turned out all right. Now people are coming to us. See that?
Good. All right, so we're gonna have to. We gotta this red line here. We've got to figure out where we want to, if we want to take it further east, or if we want to just like connect it and be done. But, so Mayor Scott, what we're hoping to do, we're hoping to get some other folks in here with us to keep building out the map.
All right, good.
We're trying to build like the
Tell them I gave them a good foundation.
You gave us a good foundation. I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you very
much for coming in and joining us. I want to say thank you to all of you for watching us, our inaugural Twitch stream for the Baltimore Banner. Check out thebanner.com. You can read all of our coverage, and we may have a story coming about our conversation tonight. So be on the lookout for that. Brandon Scott, thank you.